going to be making surgical face masks. I already did a video on how to make a full face mask and also showing how to do it with the Zorb antimicrobial lining. And I thought I would show you how to do just a simple surgical face mask because I had a lot of people ask me if I had a pattern for that, and I do. This one is a little bit different than some of the ones you maybe have been seeing online. They're all basically the same, but everyone has a little bit of twist. Mine has a little flannel. I'll download the pattern or upload the pattern so you can download the pattern in PDF form. But you're going to need 200% cotton rectangles that are 9.5 long by 6.5 wide. You're going to need one. This is just flannel, and this is a good way to use up all those flannel scraps. And the liner is 6.5 by 3 inches. And you're going to need 2 7-inch long pieces of elastic. Now, if you don't have any elastic, and I know there's been a big run on elastic, I just went out there to check because some people were saying they can't find it. I happen to have a ton because, well, I sew all the time, so I happen to have some of this stuff. You can just use like girls' hair ties. If you don't have elastic, this will work great, and you can find these at like the Dollar General and Walmart. But I will be using elastic. And the first thing you'll need to do is tie your elastic into little loops and make sure it's very tight. We're going to be using those on the end. So go ahead and tie your 2 pieces of elastic. First of all, you want to use as densely woven cotton as possible, and quilting cotton is probably one of the best. Lay your flannel in the middle on the inside out piece of one of the sections, one of the rectangles, and we're going to just zigzag that on. So I'm just going to zigzag that flannel rectangle to the inside here. And that flannel is just going to give a little bit extra lining protection in the front of the mask without adding a lot of bulk. Now you can even make this without the lining if you want, but I just find the lining gives a little bit extra protection as far as absorbency and a little bit more protection. Now whenever your mask gets wet, of course you'll want to change. Alright, so next we're going to put the 2 right sides of the fabric, the print sides together, so you're looking at the inside out of the mask. I'm going to switch to a straight stitch, and I'm going to stitch all the way around the mask, leaving about a 3-inch hole to turn it right side out through. Strength. I'm going to switch to a zigzag, and I'm going to go around and do my edges. Using the hole that we left, you want to reach inside. We want to turn it right side out here. Pencil, or I always just call them pokey sticks. To turn it all the way right side out. At this point, you want to go iron it. And so let me show you with this one here that I already have done. When you iron it, you want to iron this part under. And since I'm not going to run and iron it, because I'm just going to show you how to do it, you want to iron that in. Since I'm not ironing it, I'm just going to put a pin in it right now. Because we need to sew that close. And then, almost done, I don't have the elastic on. You want to iron, this is the inside, the part where you can see the zigzag, that's where their mouth is going to go. You want to iron, you want to fold it up, make a crease. I'm just going to pin it to simulate that. Then you want to make another crease. As you can there. Okay, so then your mask will look like this one. Because when you put it on, you're going to pull it and it's going to widen. So here's what we got right now. So now we're going to get back on the machine here. Make sure you just iron it though. It makes it really easy to stitch when you've got it all ironed. Find that section that we pinned here. Let's start there. And what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch and a straight stitch all the way around the mask. right through our 3 rows and everything. This is just going to make it look nicer, and it's going to take care of the stitching that we need to do on the side here. Get to the end, hold those pleats down. Now we see that you have the top stitching done, and you can remove those pins. So it's possible to do without the ironing. It's pretty quick. The ironing just makes it a lot easier and a lot nicer and crisper. Alright, so now we need our elastic. Little loops. And you want to make sure you're looking at the side with the, you can tell the mouth side because it has the zigzag on there, and I did mine in a different color so you'd be able to see it better. And you're going to take your elastic, you want to make sure your knot is on this side, and you're going to put it in there, and let's fold it over like that. So our elastic is in there. And you want to bring it over to the machine. And we're going to straight stitch through that fold that we just made. Make sure you've got your creases down. Okay, and now we want to, right next to it, we want to do another stitch. Let me see if I have one I can show you. So we're going to do 2 rows, like top stitching. So it just is going to help anchor that down more, and it just makes it look a little nicer, I think. So right next to where you already sewed, again. And we're going to do that on the other end. So our elastic, put it on the end, hook that little tail under, fold it under, and the easiest way to stretch it is to stretch that elastic so it's not cinching up your mask as you're sewing. Without the top stitch if you wanted to, the second one, but I just think it makes it look nicer, and it also gives you an added protection that that elastic is in there good. Now see, you can widen it by pulling it on like this. Oop, poke myself in the eye. Pulling it up. So it stretches, it goes from the small rectangle, and then it gets stretched with the, I think this was a 1/4 inch. I also had this thicker that I tried as well, but it's bigger, but most of them I just had a little bit of that, so I thought I'd use it up. The lining goes on the inside, and one of my best friend from high school is a respiratory therapist, and she recommends that as soon as it gets wet inside that you can take it off, change your mask, and let that completely air dry or wash and dry. Let me show you real quick, if you don't have the elastic and you were using the child's or just the hair rubber bands, it's the same concept. Just put the loop on there and same thing, turn it over, and then do it. On one hand, you don't have to do any ties, so those work out really good too. So thank you for joining us today, and I hope this has helped you in your these times that we're in. Y'all stay safe, and y'all stay